total of 25,000 volunteers working for Community Service Week, Traveltelevision visits the 25th anniversary of this event. On Web Tips, we'll visit a very special hospital in Haiti that's been improving quality of life for 25 years. All this and more, so on to our first stop.
I'm here with Heather Sable from the American Hiking Society, which offers volunteer vacations in the United States. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Volunteer Vacations is a program of the American Hiking Society, and basically what they are opportunities to go out for a week-long trail project and do trail maintenance. Basically, you can do anything from, say, rebuilding trails and building bridges to removing invasive species, and there's no skill required to go on a volunteer vacation. Basically, you sign up for a trip, and they're approximately about a week long, and you go out with a group of other people. You go into some of the most beautiful locations around the country, and you give back by doing trail maintenance volunteer projects, and get to meet great people and enjoy a beautiful location.
And what kind of groups do this? Are they college groups, families?
We have trips that are family friendly. We also have trips that are actually alternative spring break trips, which colleges can sign up for as well. And then you can go as an individual. So there's a lot of different opportunities. So the family friendly trips are noted, and they can often be from ages 12 and up. And then we have other trips that are appropriate for ages 18 and up. So there's definitely a variety based on your skill level and what your interests are.
And can the volunteers get involved in any kind of adventures or exploration while they're doing a trip?
Absolutely. So you'll go out and you'll do a lot of hard work and do trail maintenance and give back to the trails, but then we also want you to be able to explore the area while you're there. So a lot of people will either spend the day, if they're in a new park, you might spend the day doing a hike or doing maybe a mule ride into the Grand Canyon if that's your trip that you choose, or you might even spend a night backpacking. If you're near a big city, then maybe you want to spend the day and go in and explore and do some touristy things in the city, so that's an opportunity as well. So it's a wide variety depending on the trip you choose and what your interests are, and then you can work with your group to figure out what is the best project or what's the best free time activity that you can do together. Or you can go on your own and do whatever trip suits you the best.
Wonderful. And how could you get involved? How could you sign up?
So you would want to become a member of American Hiking Society, and once you become a member, then you can choose any trip that you would like. This year, we would have approximately 75 trips around the country in probably about 30 to 35 states, and that ranges all the way from Alaska down to Hawaii and the Virgin Islands and everywhere in between, some of the most beautiful locations around the country. So you can sign up for a trip and see what the availability is. Most of them happen throughout the spring, summer, and the fall, just to give you an idea, although there are some on either end of that as well. So you sign up, use $250 approximately to go on a vacation. That covers your food and your lodging. Your lodging can be anything from actually an inside cabin or to primitive camping. So we say lodging, and that's your determination based on what your interest is and what your experience is with backpacking. So you sign up for that, you choose the trip where your location is, you find the one that best meets your needs as far as the type of lodging and your skill level, and then you're off. So it's pretty simple. One of the most economic trips, volunteer opportunities in the country, and we make it very simple and easy for you. So there's a very wide range that spreads the entire country.
Great. Traveltelevision here with the American Hiking Society with Volunteer Vacations.
For the 25th anniversary of Community Service Day, Montgomery County Volunteer Center launched a week of activities to engage 25,000 volunteers in the community. Community Service Week has grown into a national effort supported by the United States and is called Make a Difference Day. Maryland has extended the day to an entire week to increase the culture of service.
Well, first off, the World of Montgomery Festival is the first day kicking off the 25th anniversary of Community Service Week. What a lot of Montgomery County residents may not know is that 25 years ago, Community Service Day started in Montgomery County. It then went statewide. Governor Schaefer took it statewide, and then USA Today thought it was such a wonderful idea that they made it national, and it's called Make a Difference Day. but we started it right here in Montgomery County. And people today, in addition to the food and the music and the dance and the vendors, are signing up for volunteer projects. Many people are volunteering today, but they're also signing up for activities throughout the rest of the week. No matter what their areas of interest or geographic, home base, they can volunteer at some point.
We're here kicking off Community Service Week today at the World of Montgomery Festival. It's a whole week of service, October 16th through the 22nd, and we have about 6 different service projects in the tent behind me. We have volunteers kind of from all over the community doing projects. We have one volunteer from Potomac who's leading a project called the Giving Card Project. She makes cards and sells them and donates some money to charity. So we have volunteers in there helping her make some more cards. We're folding 1,000 paper cranes. So we have a lot of volunteers out here today doing great things for our community.
To celebrate the 25th anniversary, we decided that we wanted to recruit 25,000 Montgomery County residents to participate at some point during Community Service Week, because we wanted to accommodate people's schedules and include them in all sorts of activities. Different nonprofit and community groups created projects that they needed volunteers for. So people cleaned up a park, they did canned food drives, they repaired a house for someone with a disability, they made cards for veterans, and put together care packages to send abroad to our troops. There were so many different projects going, and any resident with any language skills, any level of ability or interest level could find something that they could do near their home or place of business.
And so we appreciate those who have already signed up and who already donate so much of their time, and we always need to reach more. Montgomery County's viewers should go to www.montgomeryserves.org. They can learn about opportunities to give back in any way they choose. Student learning credit is available for students, and people can just feel so great about helping those in need.
Furious George, we love you, we love you. I want to thank all the volunteers.
There are hundreds of wonderful nonprofits that make a difference in Montgomery County. Some are enormous with multi-million-dollar budgets, and some are run out of just someone's home, and because they're passionate about making a difference. And Montgomery County is lucky to have been able to partner through this Community Service Week with all of those. And I just want to mention a few of them and recognize them. So the first person I would like to bring up is the Pink Firefighter, Marshall Moneymaker. His group is called For Three Sisters, and it supports breast cancer survivors and families and raises community awareness. And I can tell you, one of the projects that was going on right here in this building for 4 hours, we had young and old, families and individuals, students and others, sewing pink breast cancer ribbons to present to you this evening. So, to the Pink Firefighters, there are a whole bunch of them for you. We have a few more nonprofits that we especially want to recognize. I can see Mark Burkell out there from A Wider Circle. The county executive was out there this afternoon along with dozens of people, hundreds over the last few weeks. They help collect goods, furniture, other things that make a house into a home for those people who are not able to furnish their own home. Mark is the founder, he's the executive director, he's an extraordinary leader, and he's been a wonderful partner to the Volunteer Center. Mark Burkell, congratulations. Do you want to say a word?
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks for everybody who donates beds, dressers, tables, chairs, dishes, pots, pans, sheets, towels. We really appreciate it. We find good homes for your stuff. Thanks so much, and thanks, Cheryl.
Congratulations. A Wider Circle, a great cause to support.
Well, we had a great deal of services over the last 25 years in Montgomery County. It's really a reflection of the volunteerism and the community spirit that we have in Montgomery County. 25 years is great. We're going to do 25 more years. We're going to make it even bigger and better. 25 years of great service in Montgomery County for the many people and the many organizations that need the services and the many things that we contribute to make their life much better in Montgomery County.
Serving your community is a great feeling. The Montgomery County Volunteer Center can connect you to hundreds of volunteer opportunities available throughout the area. Are you a student, senior, professional, community group, or business looking to serve? Simply visit our website to select what's right for you and get great ideas from past projects with our volunteer toolkits, or share a success story of your own. The Montgomery County Volunteer Center. Make an impact in your community. Where will you serve?
Peace Corps volunteers in Washington for the 50th anniversary volunteer at the food bank and Martha's Table.
The Peace Corps represents some, if not all, of the best virtues in this society.
We volunteered before the Peace Corps and consistently after the Peace Corps, and we look for good opportunities to give back.
It stands for everything that America has ever stood for.
I think that everyone should have a volunteer spirit, and as one, we're all working together to make everyone's lives better, and if there is a need, then we're trying to try and find it.
Well, we're volunteering here today as part of the Peace Corps' 50th anniversary celebration because I want to be of service to my community, and that's one of the goals of the Peace Corps, is to come back and make a difference, not just where we served around the world, but to come back and make a difference in our communities now.
We are doing a service project at Martha's Table. We do this every reunion to give to somebody else.
Today I'm volunteering because I missed that experience of giving back to the community and being able to do things for other people besides just my family. The Peace Corps allowed me to do that for an extended period of time, and I just missed that experience, and so that's why I'm here today.
Peace Corps impacts my life every day. Gratefulness, huge gratefulness for everything we have here.
It stands for everything we believe in and hope to achieve in the world.
CRUDEM is the nonprofit that established the Hôpital Sacré-Cœur, HSC, the largest private hospital in the north of Haiti. Located in the town of Milot, the 73-bed hospital has provided uninterrupted service for 25 years. CRUDEM, Center for the Rural Development of Milot, is a multifaceted mission dedicated to helping impoverished people in and around the village of Milot in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. This premier Haitian healthcare facility has been a beacon of hope for the people of northern Haiti as it creates a healthier Haiti, one dignified life at a time. The mission of Hôpital Sacré-Cœur is to be both a hospital and medical center, consistent with the ideals of the Order of Malta, providing quality healthcare to the sick and the poor in the Haitian community, and an educational resource center for all those who serve healthcare in Haiti. The life expectancy in Haiti is the lowest in the Western Hemisphere. For women, it is 54 years. For men, it is 51 years. The need in the country is great and became greater when, on January 12, 2010, a devastating 7-point magnitude earthquake struck Port-au-Prince, destroying hospitals and infrastructure throughout the area. CRUDEM volunteers who travel to Haiti have the opportunity to serve those in desperate need and then blog about it, their experiences, at crudem.org on the volunteer page. CRUDEM is always looking for volunteers, and if you are able to volunteer at Hôpital Sacré-Cœur for 1 week or longer at any time, you are encouraged to send an email noting your interest and times available to volunteers@crudem.org.
We're in Caesarea, a city that was built between 22 BC and 12 BC by Herod the Great, who came into power in Israel in 37 BC. He wanted to replicate a Roman city and also set up a port for commerce. Hence, he chose this seaside location. What you'll see here are some incredible Roman ruins that span an amphitheater, a theater, a hippodrome, as well as a palace and a pagan temple.
Herod named the city Caesarea after his patron, Caesar Augustus, who appeared publicly in 12 BC at the city's boisterous grand opening celebration. Herod recreated a Roman city full of temples, markets, roads, baths, and more, many of which stood for centuries. The building stood when Caesarea flourished in the 3rd century under Byzantine rule. When it was conquered by Crusaders in the 11th century, it continued to flourish. It even flourished when Francis Louis IX fortified the city with walls and a moat, as well as when Caesarea was eventually lost to the Mameluke armies in the 13th century. The buildings couldn't stand forever, but today the city is a reminder of what once was, and it is impressive nonetheless.
At the edge of the palace, they chose this spot to put in a pool. Now that rectangle you see over here, right here, this rectangle was their pool. And there wasn't all that sand in it. It was actually dug out at the time. Obviously sand over time has filled it in. But imagine a wall around it. Imagine them letting the water come into the pool. And also imagine rooms around the pool where you could relax and enjoy the sea breeze and a nice swim.
When the rulers of Caesarea tired with their beachside pool, they would entertain themselves and the Caesarean people by hosting theatrical productions, sporting events, and gladiator games.
Imagine ancient times. You're here in the Hippodrome. All sorts of events take place. Gladiators in mortal combat, hunting, action sports, horse racing, and chariot racing. Imagine thousands of people coming in to watch. Some of them inebriated, they've been out drinking, and they're here for the excitement, and in many cases, the blood. Now look at this track. As you come down to the end, imagine chariot racing, and imagine the highest priced tickets right here at each end of the oval. Why were those the highest priced tickets? Because as the chariots would race down, they'd have to make this tight turn. And in many cases, the chariot would flip over. Now, if the fall didn't kill the driver, the next chariot behind quite possibly would, because those chariots were outfitted with different metal and things jutting out with that exact intent. And imagine as somebody falls and the blood pours, the crowd goes wild. That was life here in the Hippodrome.
Today, Caesarea operates mostly as a museum and education center, but it is more than just an academic day abroad. Scenic views make nice bars and restaurants in Caesarea especially attractive, and the city hosts concerts and shows at the preserved and refurbished Roman Theater.
Halumbu is an area of the Himalayas near the Tibetan border and also the name of a project for volunteers. The Halumbu project offers opportunities for individuals to live for 1 month with a host family. Volunteers experience an immersion in Nepali culture as they become an extended member of their host family. Traveltelevision spoke with Executive Director Bo Miller. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I would like to get a little bit of information about the Halumbu project, what you do and what the background is and the origins a little bit.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so Halumbu project actually started in Scotland, but my involvement came during my first visit to Nepal, where I was volunteering in a school in Kathmandu. And I met a man who invited me up to his village in the Halumbu region of Nepal, which is just north of Kathmandu. And it's very different up there, no roads or electricity. And one of the things I was struck by was how beautiful the region was and how hospitable the people were, but also how great the demand and the desire for education was. And so when I returned to Kathmandu and went back to teaching in the city, it really became quite clear to me that the need was far greater in these villages, as well as the desire for education.
Great. What sort of projects do you work on?
We work mostly on community level healthcare and education projects. So we place international volunteers in local schools, and we also do a variety of healthcare projects. We do first aid trainings with local students and villagers. And we also organize what are called health camps, which is when we have teams of medical professionals working with Nepali translators and also local staff to kind of go village to village and diagnose and treat sick and injured villagers, because there are really no health facilities up there, so we bring the healthcare to them.
That sounds like a great program and fulfilling a great need as well.
Oh, absolutely. There are just no real facilities for healthcare, and what you see are people with broken bones that don't get set, women who give birth in very austere conditions without a medical professional to accompany them on their birth. So. One project in particular that we're working on is a girls' empowerment and education program, which combines education on basically girls' health and hygiene, but also gives training in leadership skills like, for example, public speaking and organizational skills.
What makes your organization special?
I would say it's the kind of the exchange of ideas and culture that takes place between our volunteers and host families. So we work in communities on education and healthcare projects, but our volunteers live with host families in the communities where they're working. So they're living like they do, they're eating their food, sharing their living space, and the experiences that they walk away with are things that they're never going to forget, and they'll carry with them wherever they go for the rest of their lives.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Really grateful to be here.
All right. I'm Carrie Keenan for Travel Television.
Can't believe that I'm leaving. Pitch myself cause it feels like I'm dreaming. Pack my things into 2 bags. Like how's that gonna fit into 2 bags? Who'd have thought I'd have sold my car, quit my job, go so far away from the place I was raised. And I know half of me wants to stay but half wants to go, but I know that I gotta go through with the plans that I made, the goals I pursue. What I wanna do is help those who really need, push myself and succeed, not be greedy, just live a simple life and give. But moving on, I'm moving on. I'll miss you all, I'll soon be gone. Tell my friends, friendship never ends, but a few of them will never be the same with me again. In my family that I can't leave, but I have to. Understand me? Now I'm standing at the airport and I go hug those I care for. Then they tell me they're always here for me, no matter where I go. Therefore I go and grab this old book bag, slowly turn around and I don't look back. Yeah, can't believe that I'm leaving. Pinch myself cause it feels like I'm dreaming. First you come, then you go. First you didn't, now you know. And at first I complained, but that was back then. Now I've changed, and this place feels like home. After years here, gotta go, but I know that I gotta go through with the plans that I made, the goals I pursue. But moving on, I'm moving on. I'll miss you all, I'll soon be gone. Lost a family, then I gained one. Now it's back to where I came from. Sing it now, Phil. Yeah.
Hi, this is Kevin Mayberry of Travel Television. I'm here with Reiner Jentz, who's a special correspondent for National Geographic Travel, focusing on family travel. Yes. Reiner,
hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, nice to be here, Kevin.
It's nice to have you here. So Reiner, let's basically jump right into it.
Sure.
You took your family, wife and 2 sons, and decided to kind of just sort of pack up and go. So.
We did what I think a lot of people would think is fulfilling a fantasy or living a dream. My wife and I had considered and talked about the possibility of traveling around the world together when we were younger, and kind of fantasized about how exciting and adventurous that would be. And But there were always reasons why not to do it. The responsibilities that you had, your career, the perceptions of what family and friends would think if you did something crazy like that. And then our children were born, and all conversations and notions of doing something like as crazy as traveling around the world for a year seemed incomprehensible, particularly with 2 young children. But it was when they got a little bit older, specifically when they were about 4 to 7 years old, we went to London and visited my sister who had recently moved there. And they had a wonderful experience, and they really enjoyed being overseas and got a lot out of it. And when we returned, Carol and I said to each other, I said, hey, remember that idea of traveling around the world that we always talked about before the kids were born? Well, wouldn't this now be a great time to do it when the kids are young, as they're going through school and getting an education? This could be potentially for them the best education they could possibly have by experiencing and seeing life outside the United States and getting a global perspective that we thought would be a great foundation for them the rest of their lives. So once we started looking at all the potential benefits of doing something like this, particularly with the kids, we kind of put all the risks and all the buts away and decided, okay, we're going to commit ourselves to doing this. And we planned for 4.5 years, and we took off in July of 2008.
Wow.
And got back just recently, just a few months ago.
Wow. Wow. So that was about a little over like a year and a half?
Yeah, we traveled for about just a little over a year.
Where'd you guys go?
We covered 28 countries. We started by driving cross country for 7 weeks and got a great chance to see parts of the country we had never experienced before, particularly areas like the Dakotas and Montanas and the West. And then we kind of followed the sun, as I like to say, the warm weather, and went to Asia and Australia, New Zealand, Africa, up to Europe and South America, and then back to the States. So it was quite a busy year, but one with experiences that will be with us for the rest of our lives and that we'll never forget.